Picture this. It's the middle of the night. You're asleep. Your calendar looks full, but silently in the background, a disaster is brewing. A guest on Booking.com just reserved your villa for the first week of July. 2 minutes later, a family on Airbnb books the exact same dates. You wake up to a double booking. Now, you might think that you can just cancel one, but let's break down the real cost here. We're not just talking about an awkward email. In 2026, the platforms have cracked down hard. First, there's the financial penalty. Airbnb can charge you up to 50% of the reservation cost for a host-initiated cancellation. If that was a $2,000 booking, you just lost $1,000 instantly. That's money straight out of your pocket. Second, there's the search visibility hit. The algorithm remembers everything. A cancellation is a massive negative trust signal. If you cancel on a guest because your calendar failed, your listing drops to page 2 or 3 for months. You aren't just losing that one booking, you're losing the next 10 because nobody can find you. A slow calendar sync isn't just annoying, it's an active threat to your profit margin. There are dozens of tools out there, like Uplisting, Tokeet, Smoobu, and Guesty. They all claim to sync your calendar, but they don't all do it the same way. We need to talk about the difference between link syncing and direct API command. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which system protects your revenue and which ones leave you exposed. To get why double bookings happen, you have to look under the hood. Most budget-friendly tools rely on iCal, or link syncing. Think of iCal like a paper calendar on your wall. Airbnb has to look at it to see if you're free. They might do this every hour or every few hours. This is called polling. If a booking happens at 1 p.m., but Airbnb doesn't poll your link until 2 p.m., you've got a 1-hour danger zone. During that hour, your property looks available to the entire world, even though it's not. Now, this gets exponentially harder if you manage multi-unit listings. Let's say you run a boutique hotel or an apartment block. You have 5 identical units listed under one Airbnb link. Simple iCal links choke on this. They struggle to understand that Unit 1 is booked, but Unit 2, 3, and 4 are still open. They often block the whole calendar by mistake, or worse, they don't block anything at all. The better way is API connectivity. Think of this as a direct command. When a booking happens, your system doesn't wait to be asked. It immediately pushes a signal to Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo, locking those dates instantly. But more importantly, an API connection, like the one Guesty uses, counts inventory. It knows you have 5 units. When one is booked, it instantly tells Booking.com, we have 4 left. It manages the math for you in real time. If you're trying to run multi-unit inventory on a budget sync tool in 2026, you're playing Russian roulette with your occupancy rates. iCal is a liability. And there's something else to consider. Guesty is the only PMS syncing 2 ways for pricing, listings content, and messages on top of your availability. So every aspect of your listing and reservation management is always up to date inside the system and in the booking platforms. Let's dig deeper into the tools available. Let's start with Smoobu. If you have a lovely holiday home in the German countryside and you only take direct bookings or use niche regional sites, Smoobu is fantastic. It's lightweight, easy to use, and affordable. But if you try to plug it into a high-volume U.S. market strategy with dynamic pricing tools and constant turnover, the engine starts to strain. It's built for simplicity, not complexity. Then there's Tokeet. Tokeet is a builder's paradise. If you love customizing widgets, you might love it. It's flexible. But most hosts need a system that works out of the box, not a box of parts. The complexity of managing their mix of API and iCal links can lead to human error if you're not highly technical. And Uplisting, they are undoubtedly great for that 1 to 3 property range. They have a fantastic user interface and solid API connections for the big players. But as you scale to 10, 20, or 50 units, you start needing features like revenue management and CRMs. That's where the starter ceiling hits you hard. You don't want to migrate your entire business just as you're starting to grow. But here's the biggest catch: traffic jams. Most of these systems are limited in how much data they can push at once, at roughly 2 to 3 API calls per second. That sounds fast, but during peak season, when thousands of bookings are happening, data can get backed up. A real-time API connection can suddenly lag by minutes, and minutes are all it takes for a double booking to slip through. This brings us to Guesty. Guesty remains the heavy hitter for professional property managers because they fixed the traffic jam problem. Guesty's smart calendar is built on enterprise-grade infrastructure. Unlike the mid-market standard, Guesty processes 15+ API calls per second. That means even on Black Friday or during the summer rush, your calendar updates are pushing through instantly. No lag, no danger zone. There's another reason speed matters more in 2026 than it did in 2024: the rise of AI booking agents. Travelers aren't just browsing manually anymore. They're starting to use AI assistants to find and book a villa in Tuscany instantly. These AI bots move at lightning speed. They can execute a booking in milliseconds. If your calendar relies on a slow poll, you might end up invisible to these AI agents. They can interpret a slow-to-load or unsure availability signal as a risk and skip you. Guesty's high-speed infrastructure isn't just about preventing errors, it's about making sure your property is fast enough to be booked by the next generation of travelers. Guesty acts as your single source of truth. It doesn't just sync dates, it syncs reservation alterations, price changes, and messages. If a guest on Airbnb shortens their stay, Guesty instantly opens those dates on Vrbo. Many budget systems miss these alteration updates, leaving you with empty, unbookable nights. This reliability is why Guesty holds the highest tier status with all the major booking channels like Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo. They trust Guesty's data more than almost anyone else's. Here's the bottom line. If you've got one property and a tight budget, platforms like Smoobu or Uplisting are fine starting points. They're definitely better than a spreadsheet, and they'll get the job done for a smaller portfolio. But if you're thinking about growing a portfolio or you just want real peace of mind, you can't afford the risk of link syncing or slow API speeds. You need real-time reliability. You need inventory management that understands multi-unit logic, and you need a system fast enough to keep up with AI booking agents. You need the Guesty multi-calendar. Check the link in the description to see how Guesty's powerful platform can protect your business from the chaos of double bookings, secure your calendar, and scale your business.